right. What's up, everybody? My name is Jamie Rose James. Um, I decided, as I'm trying to get closer to my walk with God, that I'm gonna start doing Bible verses. So, a little bit of information on me. So, I'm from North Carolina. I've been a believer since 2005, May 25th. I remember the exact day. I'm 40 now. In my older years, I feel like I definitely have strayed away from the teachings. Never would say left the Lord, but definitely strayed away. And I'm trying to recommit my life. Um, Not only to my life, but the things I do for the Lord, for social media and all that good stuff. Um, you know, calm down the Instagram. We know how all that can get us and things like that, and really make all the stuff that I do more Christ centered. I made a whole bunch of movies with my partner, and me and him also been talking about really making sure the things we do are Christ centered. So not just for the movies, not just for our life, but for social media as well. And I thought this would be a good thing to do: dedicate something to the Lord and do it constantly, and really have a focus for Him and for God and His people. So we're going to do a Bible study. I don't know how frequently I'm going to do this, but I am going to set some type of schedule. But I know you have to start with one, and you got to start somewhere. So this is where I'm going to start. And I have to make sure I look here. I'm over here looking at the display. Boom, right here. All right. So today we're going to start with Matthew 14:22 through 32. I'm really going to focus on the verses of 22 and 23, but I feel like to really get the whole idea, we need to read all 10 verses. All right, so my Bible is New King James, but some of the scriptures I'm going to get that I got from my phone is going to be from the ESV translation, just to let you know. So we're going to start with Matthew 14:22. Immediately, Jesus made his disciples get into the boat and go before him to the other side, while he sent the multitudes away. And when he sent the multitudes away, he went up on the mountain by himself to pray. Now, when evening came, he was alone there. But the boat was now in the middle of the sea, tossed by the waves, for the wind was contrary. Now, in the fourth watch of the night, Jesus went to them, walking on the sea. And when the disciples saw him walking on the sea, they were troubled, saying, "It's a ghost." And they cried out in fear. But immediately Jesus spoke to them, saying, "Be of good cheer. It is I. Do not be afraid." And Peter answered him and said, "Lord, if it is you, command me to come to you on the water." So he said, "Come." And when Peter had come down out of the boat, he walked on the water to go to Jesus. But when he saw that the wind was boisterous, he was afraid and began to sink. He cried out, saying, "Lord, save me." And immediately Jesus stretched out his hand and caught him and said to him, "O ye of little faith, why do you doubt?" And when they got into the boat, the wind ceased. So when I first started to study this, I basically was studying all 10 verses. But what caught my attention was 22 and 23. And once I started to really break down 22 and 23, I really got a lot of stuff going. So eventually I'm going to get down to some other stuff, because when it gets to like 31 and 32 and also 30, and just how the idea that Peter immediately called on Jesus and Jesus immediately saved him, I really want to touch on that. But right now I'm just going to do 22 and 23, and eventually we get to that as I do more. All right, so when I was reading this, I was like, why did Jesus send them over there? I never found a reason where they was going. I only can assume they were going to the next place they had to minister to. But I was like, why would Jesus send them over here? And to sum it all up, Jesus sent them over there because at the end of 14, before we get to the Sea of Galilee and what happened, Jesus needed time to pray and rest for his Father. So as we go through this, I want y'all to keep that in mind. He had to pray and rest for his Father. And so what are the reasons he had to pray and rest? And I think I found three. One, at the beginning of 14, John the Baptist was beheaded. This is someone that baptizes Jesus. This is someone that was part of Jesus' prophecy. This is someone that was close to Jesus' heart. So that was tolling on him, which leads me to another point we have to remember, that Jesus was God in the flesh. So he was also God, but he also had his flesh. Not to say that he sinned, but to say that he felt certain things that he never felt before. So he felt the sadness of when he lost people. He felt sorrow in these things. So these things are having a toll on his physical body that has never happened before because he was all spirit. One, he just fed 5,000 people as well. So if we look at the beginning of 14, this is where he took the 2 fish, 5 loaves of bread, and created that miracle and multiplied it. And as we learn, as we see Jesus do other miracles, it took a toll on him. And I can only imagine what toll it took to feed 5,000 people with 2 fish and 5 loaves of bread. Because we also have to remember that we are reading this within seconds. We're just going line by line. But in real time, feeding 5,000 people with 12 disciples, hoping other people will help you pass the bread and pass the fish along, and having to multiply that multiple times and using the power of God is very straining on your body. Just like when we do things for the Lord, He gives us the power, He gives us the strength, spiritually, physically, but because we are in the flesh, it's still a toll on our body, and we still need that time to rest, just like Jesus did. And also, as you look further down, what I learned also, if you read in 14, that the people, he sent the multitude away, right? Well, we have to go and look at John 6:15. So let's shoot over there real quick. All right. So we had John 6:15. And this is just another eye on what happened around that same time that he was feeding the 5,000. And it said, therefore, when Jesus perceived that they was about to come and take him by force and make him king, he departed away to the mountain by himself. The people wanted to go against the prophecy that Jesus had to do. They wanted to take him and make him king. And we can look throughout the whole Bible as how people saw Jesus in their own light and not how he was prophesied to come. Because as the Bible proclaimed, he is the kings of kings, and he was going to overthrow the government. And so many people seen him in the light that he wasn't destined to do, that he wasn't prophesied to do. And even because of that, he had to get the multitude away because that would have broke the prophecies that he's trying to fulfill. So we have all these things on Jesus. We have John the Baptist, who was beheaded, who was close to Jesus. We had him feeding 5,000 people, doing that large miracle, which take a toll on his physical body. And also we had the people who he just fed, trying to make him king, trying to forcefully take him away. And after reading that, that showed me three things. One, the importance of Jesus coming down in the flesh. Two, our time alone with God, and how our time alone just by ourselves, and also our time alone with God. And if that was extremely important to Jesus, then it should be extremely important to us. And also, he took the time he needed. So let's go back to the first one. The importance of Jesus coming down in the flesh. And this was important because now he can share in our grief, and now he can share in our sorrow. He knows how it feels to go through certain things. He knows how it feels to lose a close friend. He knows how it feels to do this work for people, to serve people, to lead people and guide people, and then people try to force their ideologies on him. He knows the struggle was trying to get time with the Lord. That's why he sent the multitude away. He sent his disciples away. The struggle to really get alone time with the Lord and just alone time with himself to heal. He understands those things and understands so many more things. And that's why it was very important for him to come down and be a flesh so he can understand what we go through as well. Your time alone by yourself and your time alone with God is important. Jesus, and we see this plenty of times in the Bible, he's getting away and getting that alone time with his Father. But he's getting the alone time that is required. Because as we read, he sent the disciples away. So by the time Jesus starts to come back and walk on the water, they call it the fourth night. And this fourth night is around 3 a.m. and 6 a.m. We also see that he was praying within the evening. So he sent his disciples away a very long time ago. Now, we always know that quality is over quantity, but also keep in mind that time alone with God is very important, and that's something that we need to prioritize. These are things I've seen that was important, and I'm gonna take these things and apply it to my life. I'm gonna make sure that I get that time alone with God and the time alone with God needed. I'm gonna remind myself that God came here in the flesh so we can share certain things. He knows how certain things feel. And yeah, I think that's it. That's all I got. And I think it's good for the first one. Thank you for tuning in. There will be more, and I appreciate it. Appreciate you giving your time. God bless. I'll see you next time.